Everybody, it's Brady Browning's collab called Thanksgiving Thursdays, and open collab. Anybody can join. It's every Thursday through the month of November. You make some kind of a dish that you might make for Thanksgiving, and so thank you, Brady, for helping and helping newbies like myself get some time, some exposure, whatever. So today's Thursday, I am doing a pecan bars instead of pecan pie. They actually, to me, seems like it serves more. And so what I started out with, and you didn't see, you might be able to see it somewhere on me, I had some technical difficulties. Yes, I did. I turned my mixer on. First I put the butter in it. It says to put in 3/4 of a cup of softened butter, which I did. And then it said to put in 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, which I did on the same speed. And we had a cloud in here, but it's gone now mostly. And I decided to start here. So for the base, you get a 9x13 pan. You set your oven to 350 degrees. Don't grease the pan because there's butter in this. And you put in your mixer carefully 3/4 of a cup of softened butter, 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, and what's the last thing? Oh, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. That's all done. And then it's going to be kind of sparse looking, like it's not enough, but it spreads real well. So I put dots all along my baking dish here, and just spread it out and bring a lip up. A lip, by that I mean push the dough, if you can call it that, along the side so that when you add your pumpkin pie filling, it gets, it doesn't just go over the side. It kind of stays in there like it would if it was a pie. And so there's pecan in there already. So that's what that looks like. So as soon as that gets done with those 3 ingredients, all-purpose flour, powdered sugar, and butter, you put it in your oven for just about 20 minutes. You partially bake it. I'm going to do that now. Okay, what time is it? It is 7:05. Okay, so the deal is it's going to sit in there and get just not all the way baked, but just enough to take the filling that we're going to make next, and it'll not get too moist when you do that. Okay, I'm going to lower this down. My poodles are in better. They had a heyday with that because I just set it on the floor. Okay, so now I've got a bowl here, and I'm going to take 3 eggs and just whip them up with a fork. I've got my duck eggs here. And I like to use duck eggs because I think it makes the recipe richer, and it amps up the protein in the actual recipe. So here we go. 1 egg. Woo-wee, they're big. I hope I can show you better this time than I did last. Duck egg shells are very, very tough. You don't have to worry much about duck egg shells getting into the actual food. Now I'll do it, of course. Smells just like chicken eggs, like nothing. But so much bigger and brighter. I broke a yolk. I got nothing to wipe my paws on. Okay, I'll show you. These are pretty. Dagnabbit. This just never works out for me, I guess. I need to find a better angle, but 3 duck eggs in there. And just gently whip them up. Break them good. They're also tougher, so it takes a little bit more. I said this before too. I would never eat just a scrambled duck egg, but I know people do. I think they're best for baking. Okay, so after you've done that, you want to put in 1 cup of granulated sugar. 1 cup granulated sugar. Speaking of which, did you know that some sugar is not actual cane sugar, but it's beet sugar? And did you know the difference between cane sugar and beet sugar? Well, One of the differences is that, well, several of the differences are with baking. It changes, often changes. You can just research this yourself. I did. Because I opened up my container of sugar once and I said, ooh, this smells like sulfur. And I thought it was the container I had it in. And my husband said, there's something wrong with that sugar. And we closed it back up and we Googled it. And it was from the most famous discount store that we all know and have shopped at before. And their bargain sugar was, at that time, beet sugar rather than cane sugar. So I always look for pure cane sugar. Anyway, it can change the coloring, the browning. You know, when you're making cookies or breads or something, your browning can be off. It can change the lift. When you make something, how it, expands. It can be flatter. And just the taste overall and smell is different. It's a little bit more, but it's the real thing. So, So then after that, you want to put in melted butter. And I left that over here because it was so warm when I melted it. I'll grab that. As always, I will put the recipe down, in the description box below. But here's 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Put that in there, get it in good. Okay. Then you want to put in your 2 cups of pecans, just rough chopped, not super fine and not whole. There you go, 2 cups. And then you want to put in, how much is this? It is, I'll put it in the description bar below. It's just the right amount of corn syrup. So some pecan pies use molasses, some use dark corn syrup. I've always preferred white corn syrup. When I was a child growing up in Oklahoma, we had corn syrup and peanut butter sandwiches. You mix the peanut butter and corn syrup together and put it on the bread, white bread of course back then, and that was a yummy lunch for you. My brother and I still talk about that. Okay, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and I use the stuff that I make. You can find that video in my playlist, but it was like the 2nd or 3rd video I did. And I had the right idea that I would voice over, but I didn't know how. So it's a silent video. It's like I made it in the 20s or something. Silent movies. No music, no talkies. Making your own vanilla is really very easy. All you have to do is take some alcohol, and I like to use vodka. And good vanilla beans, I like to use grade B. I think it works better than grade A, which it sounds like it wouldn't be, but it is for, I think, for extract. And I like to take the whole bean and I pierce it several times. Some people split them right down the middle, but I pierce them because I want to use the beans on the inside for something later, like ice cream or something. So anyway, you put it in a bottle in a dark place, like your cupboard, your pantry, a shelf that's not like over your stove where it's going to get hot, but just a shelf that's protected. And after you do that, you swirl it, cap it, and you swirl it about every day or 2, whenever you think of it. And 3-4 minutes later, you have the best vanilla ever. Some people like to use brandy. Some people like to use, what is that other thing? What's Jim Beam? What is that? It's not Burgundy. I don't know. But if you drink, or if you make extracts, So I just like vodka because it's mostly tasteless and it lets the vanilla shine through. Bourbon. It's bourbon. Brown sugar bourbon. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This is not brown sugar bourbon. This is iced tea. Milo's, as a matter of fact, 0 sugar. I've just discovered it. It's wonderful. Num num. So after that happens, it's all mixed together. We're done. We've got all the ingredients in it. It's really pretty easy to do this. You can crank out 2 9x13s. It just takes time to make the crust. And after you take the crust out, 20 minutes, while it's still hot, you pour this filling in. Let's see if I can show you the filling. I just have a terrible angle. So it looks like regular old pumpkin, I just keep doing that, pecan pie filling. So you pour it into this still hot, partially cooked crust that we just put together in the oven, and you bake it for 35 to 40 more minutes. And checking it now and then in the end to make sure that it doesn't burn, because you can always add more time, but once it's overdone, it's overdone. And the only suggestion that I would have is don't freeze it, because the crust doesn't stand up well to being frozen, but you can absolutely put it in your refrigerator. And in your refrigerator, it'll last plenty. You can make it ahead of time like this. In fact, I plan to use this for Thanksgiving. And what is that, like 8 days? Yeah, 8 days away. Okay, so I'm gonna just show you what I have. I think I explained that enough. And I'm gonna put the recipe down below, like I said. This isn't one of my best videos again. I am getting better though. All right, are you ready to see the done product? So, you would cut these just like you would, brownies or something. And it's weird when it comes out of the oven, if you just stare at it, you can see it, it's so hot in there, it's molten. So don't try to cut it right out of the oven. It is liquid fire. Because of the corn syrup and sugar and egg and everything, it's just super hot. And it takes a good couple hours, I think, to get to where you'd want to cut it. Also, it suggests that you do put it in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes before you cut it at all to serve. So, 1, 2, I think you could easily get 16 pieces out of this. So I made 2 pans, and it'll be 36 squares. Top it with whipped cream or ice cream or nothing, and just eat it plain. Or don't eat any at all if you don't like it, because there's more for me. So that's my thing for the Thanksgiving Thursdays collab. Thank you, Brady Browning, for hosting and for allowing me to be a part of this. And I look forward to the next Thursday. I don't know what I would possibly do, but maybe something that's more coherent, right? Have a great day, evening. Go out and find some joy. Like, subscribe, comment, say hey. I will too. Mwah, bye.